So the other day, I'm doing prep for the show, and I go to the CNN YouTube page, and I'm scrolling, and I see, like 2 or 3 times in a short time frame, they have on John Bolton to discuss foreign policy and to discuss Israel and Iran and Gaza. And man, that made my blood boil. Because this is what mainstream media does, right? They limit the Overton window to the acceptable framework in Washington, D.C. And they bring up these people like they're experts, like neutral, objective expert John Bolton. And John Bolton's take, you're not going to be surprised to hear, is, well, obviously we need to do war. The guy has never met a war he doesn't like, and he's treated with kid gloves on CNN, and they act like this is a legitimate and serious person. This guy is a war criminal. This guy should be in The Hague. But on even the so-called liberal network, CNN, they're singing the same tune that you would see on, say, Fox News, for example, maybe to a slightly less degree. It's not as brazen and overt, usually, but the end goal is clear. They're pushing for war with Iran. So here we got Jake Tapper interviewing him, and just be prepared to absolutely want to shove your fucking head in a meat grinder.
Former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton. Ambassador Bolton, thanks for joining us. So what is your assessment of what's happening right now? You said earlier on CNN that this is a huge failure of both U.S. and Israeli deterrence.
Right. Last night, the Iranians launched 320-plus cruise and ballistic missiles and drones.
I already have to pause. It's a huge failure of U.S. and Israeli deterrence. Israel wanted this to happen. That's why they bombed the Iranian consulate in Syria. Is that going to come up at all? Look, I genuinely don't know, so we're going to have to wait and see. But Israel bombed the Iranian consulate, which is like bombing Iranian soil in Syria. That's what they did. And the whole goal was to kill Qasem Soleimani's replacement, the top Iranian commander, his replacement. Is that going to come up at all? And then, it's a failure of deterrence. Iran wanted Israel and the U.S. to know, hey, the attack is coming. They gave them like hours notice, and so they were able to shoot out of the sky 99% of the missiles and the drones.
It's a blessing that the Israelis find only 1% got through. But not every night is going to be that good. And unless Iran sees a powerful response, that risk will continue. And the way to reestablish deterrence is not proportional. That's academic talk. The way you establish deterrence is by telling your adversary, if you ever try that again, the price you will pay will be so much higher than any gain you think you can get.
If your logic is correct, why shouldn't Iran have launched an all-out, complete assault on all of Israel and unleashed the hounds of hell with the biggest missiles that they have? Because again, Israel bombed the Iranian consulate in Syria. So in other words, they acted first. They started that. And so by your logic, Iran should have said, okay, we're going to wipe Tel Aviv off the map now. God, oh my God, I can't. This guy, I swear to God, this guy can only get a boner when we're on the brink of World War III.
So I think Israel has a wide range of potential targets. You start by flattening Iran's air defense capabilities. Next, you might go after headquarters of the regular military and the Revolutionary Guard. You could consider going after their oil infrastructure, the oil fields, the distribution pipelines, the export port facilities. And most importantly, I think Israel should be looking at this as an opportunity to destroy Iran's nuclear weapons program, which is the existential threat that Israel faces.
All right, first of all, the nuclear capabilities in Iran. They're legally allowed under international law to have nuclear facilities if they're using it for scientific research or power for their electricity grid. That's a fact. He's just bomb all their, their nuclear capabilities. And what happens next, John? What happens next? What happens next is what he wants to happen next, which is Iran has to launch a real counterattack this time against Israel. And Israel drags the U.S. in, and all of a sudden we got another Iraq war situation, except worse. And we have U.S. men and women on the ground fighting Iran. For what? For what? Because Netanyahu wanted to do a genocide and an ethnic cleansing in Gaza and also is so fucking unhinged. He also attacked Iran in the process because he wants a war with Iran. And we're at the whims of a psychotic, genocidal, theocratic, ethnostater madman? This guy, man, he can't, like, he just wants war. He just wants war. This is the guy, first of all, Trump picked him to be a top, foreign policy expert in his administration. He picked him. And then, when Trump was trying to meet with Kim Jong-un, like, I know it's goofy, it's silly, Trump's crazy, et cetera, but it was one of the few areas where it looked like, oh, in that one random area, Trump doesn't want all-out war. He wanted to do an Iran-style nuclear agreement, but with North Korea. Okay, good, I'll get behind that. John Bolton came out and said, yeah, we're looking to do the Libya model in North Korea. He said this in the midst of Trump's talks with Kim Jong-un. You know what that means? What was the Libya model? We toppled Gaddafi. We did regime change against Gaddafi. In the midst of an attempted peace conversation, he goes, yeah, we want to do regime change against this motherfucker. He's got wanton bloodlust, this man. He is so fucking unhinged. He's a colossal war criminal. He is the devil he accuses everybody else of being.
If Joe Biden, as some press reports have it, is urging the Israelis not to retaliate at all, he is an embarrassment to the United States. This is an American interest to make sure that Iran, which is the principal threat to international peace and security in the region, is at a minimum put in its place.
He's saying Joe Biden is an embarrassment because he allegedly said behind the scenes to Netanyahu, we're not going to help you with an offensive attack against Iran. Now, when push comes to shove, will Biden probably do that? Yeah, he probably will. But because he said, hey, pull the reins back a little bit, you're an embarrassment, Joe Biden. No, the reason Joe Biden is an embarrassment is because he's gone along every single step of the way with Netanyahu. He let him bomb churches, he let him bomb mosques, he let him bomb hospitals, he let him destroy systematically and meticulously every single school in Gaza. He let them do total collective punishment, a medieval siege, cut off the food, the fuel, the water to 2.3 million people in Gaza. 30,000 are Hamas. 2.3 million, they said, starve them. I don't care. I'll allow it. That's why Joe Biden is an embarrassment. He's too hawkish, not he's too dovish. He's saying Biden's an embarrassment because he's too dovish. Could you imagine being that fucking psychotic?
Spare Israel, to spare the Gulf Arabs, to spare us from the threat that they pose.
So, look, I don't think there's anybody in the White House that if they could snap their fingers and have the Iranian regime disappear wouldn't do so. The question about what you're proposing would be that doesn't necessarily end the conflict. That might actually just escalate the conflict. And then you have Iran responding even more harshly and even more successfully. And who knows what their nuclear capabilities are right now. And how does one avoid that happening?
Well, let's start with what we don't know about their nuclear capabilities. Do you want to tell Israel to roll the dice that next time a salvo of ballistic missiles comes into their territory, it won't be nuclear?
That's what you're saying. Oh, my God. That's what he's saying. You're making the argument. Let's do a giant response, which then obviously they'll take and put their tail between their legs and run away. No, it is at that point, it's existential for them. Because Israel and the U.S., by extension, would be saying to them, we are trying to do regime change. We are doing more attacks. So then they were like, fuck, back against the wall, rabid dog style. We got to do what we can to win this fucking thing. This was their warning. This was, you attacked us. We don't like that. We're forced to respond, but we're going to just virtue signal it. Hey, 3 hours of notice or whatever the fuck it was. This guy, he wants to attack them again and then make it more likely. You will see some Israeli cities wiped off the fucking map in this scenario. The bloodlust of this man, it's that and it's mixed with complete and utter idiocy.
And I would say this, too, about this escalation, this fear of a wider war. The administration fears a wider war because it's worried about gasoline prices in the United States. It's worried about the left wing of the Democratic Party.
He's also worried about fucking re-election. He's also worried about re-election. You think a war against Iran where, guys, there wasn't, like, in the lead up to the Iraq war, there was a massive propaganda effort every step. Oh my God, Saddam Hussein did 9/11. Saddam Hussein worked with Al-Qaeda. He's got weapons of mass destruction. He might use it on Cleveland. There was all the propaganda injected directly into the bloodstream of the American public. With what's happening with Iran right now, guys, everybody's seen this every step of the way. If you look at the polls, a majority of Biden supporters say, yeah, Israel's doing a genocide against the Palestinians right now. Yeah, we saw that Netanyahu attacked the Iranian consulate first. We see Iran is acting defensively. We see it. So if the U.S. gets dragged in to fight Netanyahu's war for him, a genocidal maniac, you think Biden's polls are going to go up?
Israel's been in a wider war since October the 7th, which the administration has resolutely refused to recognize. If you don't understand the strategic environment, you can't possibly respond to it effectively.
In other words, let me decode what he's saying. He's saying on October 8th, we should have not only done the genocide and the ethnic cleansing against Gazans, but we should also have done all-out war against Hezbollah in Lebanon and also have done all-out war against the Iranian government. I'm decoding what he's saying there. That's what he means. They're naively not recognizing that this is a wider war. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Oh, you want to fight that wider war. So you want to go deeper in a fight against Hezbollah and the Iranian government. Again, guys, it's very rare. You come across a human being who's wrong about literally everything. This is where we are with this man. This is where we are.
Theater of operations has 5 battlefields at the moment.
5.
Certainly Hamas in Gaza, the Houthis closing the Red Sea to international sea traffic.
Amazing. The Houthis have made crystal clear, we will stop attacking these ships and holding up international trade the second you stop doing the genocide in Gaza. What's his reaction? Add them to the list of the people we want all-out war with. Hezbollah, the Houthis, Iran. He said it's a 5-front war. He's like, yes, 5-front war, go fight it, yes. Send your kids to go die, your kids.
Hezbollah attacking northern Israel, Shia militia groups in Iraq and Syria. Now we see Iran itself. And even yesterday, they hijacked, I believe it was a Philippine ship on the high seas. So there are 5 sources of pressure here. It's not necessarily the world's most effective alliance, but it's one battle plan, which the Iranians call the Ring of Fire. And the administration needs to face up to that, which it has not done so far.
Now remember, this is the guy who was most fervently pushing for war with Iraq. The war that, in retrospect, like over 80% of people are like, okay, that was a bad idea. So if he has a track record of being wrong about everything, and by the way, he was one of the people who's like, bro, it'll be a quick in and out, bro. It'll be fine. It'll be over in like a month or 2, bro. It's whatevs. He's wrong about everything then. He's wrong about everything now, but he's still brought on CNN as some sort of fucking objective expert? Shame on CNN. Shame on Jake Tapper here. What the fuck are you doing?
Nobody wants Armageddon, right? Nobody wants World War.
John Bolton does.
Nobody wants nuclear weapons used. Nobody wants more death of innocent people. Why are you convinced that your method is the best way to avoid that as opposed to diplomacy, deterrence, and other ways?
Look at the framing of the question. He treats him like he's an honest actor. He treats him like he's an honest actor. You're sitting across the table, Jake Tapper, from the fucking modern day equivalent of Himmler or Goebbels. Treat it as such. Well, obviously a respected man like yourself. Obviously we all don't want war, so how do we avoid war? By doing all-out war.
Well, is diplomacy working so far? Hamas this morning again rejected the ceasefire plan.
He said, how's diplomacy working so far? John, I wouldn't know. There's a genocide and an ethnic cleansing going on. Israel attacked the Iranian consulate in Syria. How's diplomacy going? I wouldn't know. Israel wouldn't know diplomacy if it was dropped on their fucking head like an anvil. They want blood, and they've gotten blood. He's saying this is a failure of diplomacy? What fucking diplomacy? What diplomacy? The leaders of Israel every day come out and say stuff like there are no innocent civilians in Gaza. There's no peace partner. We can't work with anybody. No Palestinian state under any circumstances ever. This is what they say. And he goes, oh, diplomacy has failed. What fucking diplomacy? These people aren't willing to give an inch as they massacre women and children. They carpet bomb babies. He's like, oh, look at how diplomacy has failed. Is the name of the bomb diplomacy? The name of the bomb being dropped on the heads of babies?
I have heard from people in Israel. They believe there are less than 20 hostages still alive, that perhaps 100 of them are dead. And if that's true, and if Hamas knows it, but has been negotiating these past months on the basis of 40 coming out, with more possibly later, and Hamas itself saying they can only find 27. Hamas may have been conducting a deception operation to build up pressure on Iran, knowing full well
pressure on Israel.
It could never meet the diplomatic goals of the administration.
Who killed those hostages, John? Who killed those hostages? We've had detailed reporting from like a month into this thing that Israel's onslaught and relentless bombing campaign has killed a number of their own hostages. Motherfucker, they killed their hostages when they were out there in the open waving white flags, basically saying, I am a hostage, and the IDF gunned them down. Who killed those hostages? And by the way, to the extent that Hamas is rejecting these ceasefires, the reason they're rejecting these ceasefires is because Israel's saying, 6 weeks only, then we go right back to genociding your punk asses. Who the fuck would say yes to that? Yes, sir, murder me in 6 weeks. I'll take a brief reprieve from my inevitable murder. What the fuck are you talking about?
Deterrence failed 320 times last night against Israel. If Iran doesn't feel the pain, I think it's only going to get worse for Israel.
If Iran doesn't feel the pain, this guy can't get a wink of sleep unless millions more people die in an unnecessary war. Look, the bottom line is this, man. I've said plenty in this segment. The bottom line is this. He's the aggressor. Netanyahu's the aggressor. They are the baddies. That's not to say everything about Iran or the Houthis or Hamas, like, oh, these are all good guys. No, that's not the case at all. And I think everybody understands that, and it's obvious. But what is absolutely insufferable in the context of the West is that he's treated seriously. He's treated like a sober voice of reason and logic. And they discuss his strategy on how to go forward. He's a genocidal maniac with bloodlust who should already be in The Hague. He is the problem. And that perspective you will not get. Jake Tapper treats him with kid gloves, like he's neutral. And by the way, this is going to drive you guys crazy, but you know how he weaseled his way into being taken seriously on CNN, right? He's an anti-Trump Republican. He's a never-Trumper. And so they go, well, you don't like Trump. You must be serious. That's their bar. I don't care if you're for 99.9% of Trump's policies. If you say you don't like Trump personally, welcome. Welcome to the club. You know what John Bolton said? It was like 3 or 4 days ago now. You know what he said? He went on CNN and he said, I'm not voting for Trump. I'm not voting for Biden. I'm going to write in Dick Cheney, the guy who brought us illegal, unconstitutional, warrantless spying on Americans. The guy who brought us Abu Ghraib and Guantanamo Bay and illegal torture. The guy who pushed for an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us in Iraq, where we spent trillions of dollars, lost thousands of lives, led to the deaths of minimum 200,000 Iraqi civilians. Another fellow traveler who's wrong about everything. And again, they talk like this is a serious perspective. There was a reason why Dick Cheney had an approval rating of like fucking 20% when he left office. And treated like they have something to say. They do not. There's a loathsome man who should already be behind bars for his crimes with the war in Iraq. And he's not going to stop until he gets war with Iran. And maybe throw a couple other countries in there as well. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now.